Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with the breaking news story. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison resigns through department email tonight at around 8:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys and girls, I'm retired New York City police detective, and you like it, all things true crime related from that police detective's perspective. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get all things DutyRon, and when he's available, Ed Wallace, when we go live or uploaded video. I got my good friend, my fellow compadre here, Melanie Little. Thank you for coming with live with me with such short notice. This is unbelievable breaking news.
This is crazy. This is crazy right before Election Day. And you know, they've been voting at the high school here since all week. So voting started Monday. So this is very interesting timing.
I'm going to bring straight live from News 12 Long Island. It's a breaking story here. Rodney Harrison, the police commissioner of Suffolk County, has done so much good with the Long Island serial killer Gilgo 4. He's working hard, working alongside not only with his detectives and all of the people in the task force, he's working with John Ray, the attorney for Shannon Gilbert and others. This guy is doing things that have not been done by past administration. These folks were dirty James Burke, and now you got such a great guy like Rodney Harrison. This is heartbreaking, but I'm not surprised, because on my last live I said, with the new county executive coming in, they always like to bring in their own people, and I think the writing was on the wall on this one. So come January 1st, when they have the elections, the results, Dave Calone, and then he's the Democratic side. Candidate side. Thank you. And the Republican Ed Romaine. One of those two is going to be they're going to be the county executive. When they're going to come in with their own new police commissioner. And then it's unfortunate. But let's just take a peek at this, because this is the breaking story from News 12 Long Island.
Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison is resigning. In an internal email obtained by News 12, Harrison says, tomorrow, November 3rd, I will be providing my notice to Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone to end my tenure as Suffolk County PD Commissioner. Harrison goes on to say that serving as commissioner was a privilege and the greatest highlight of his career. Harrison has led the department for nearly 2 years. He broke barriers as Suffolk's first Black police commissioner. Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone tonight praising Harrison's contributions to the county, including police reforms and improving officer safety. In a statement, Bellone says Commissioner Harrison's achievements are innumerable, but the most significant is the arrest of an alleged serial killer in connection to the Gilgo Beach homicide investigation. It's unclear when Harrison's last day on the job will be. Well, graphic body camera video released today.
So that was the snippet that they put on there, Melanie. Shocking, to say the least. I mean, this guy has done nothing but good. We've been following this from the beginning, and that's why immediately I actually, obviously I reached out to Ed Wallace, but he's sleeping in a hotel room somewhere right now. So he wasn't available. I was ready to do it myself, but I text you because I felt like, you're following this case. You're a fellow Long Island. You're a mom. You're a parent just like me. And we want to see justice served, not just for 4 victims, 3 now, looking at a 4th, but we want justice for all of the victims, the unidentified, and potentially anybody else who is involved in this horrific, this has been going on forever since, we can go back into the early 1996, I think. It goes back. And this is just unbelievable. Melanie, I want to get your thoughts on, on this.
This is a devastating blow to Suffolk County. It really is. I mean, Suffolk County has never felt safer. There was this, like you said, the corruption in Suffolk County has been going on since as long as I can remember. Karen Vergata, who was the first of the Gilgo bodies to be discovered, went missing in 1996. It's very suspect to me. This timing is very suspect. When Rodney Harrison came into office in the beginning of 2022, right? It was the beginning of 2022. The legislature approved him, I think, the end of 21. He came into office in 2022. He spearheaded the Gilgo Beach Task Force. He, within 7 weeks, I think they had a suspect in mind. He was just arrested within the last 3 months, Rex Huermann, and these murders have gone unsolved since 1996. So
Yeah.
to say that he was making progress in this case is an understatement. And I don't understand why this is happening right exactly now. Election day is not until next week. Even though early voting has started, this just the timing of this is a little suspect to me. What do you think?
You know, Melanie, I can't agree with you more. And before we went live, we had a chance to speak just a little bit. You know, the timing of this is definitely a lot suspect because we saw the police commissioner stand arm to arm with John Ray. And that is something that Ed and I and any law enforcement, retired official, active official will say to you, that just doesn't happen. And I was happy that happened. I thought this is groundbreaking because now we're going to have an opportunity for all the people who were hiding behind, you know, the fear of the police. People are afraid to come to the police, especially in that profession. People are doing things that are illegal. They don't want to come to the police and say, hey, you know, I have information. John Ray opened the floodgates, and he didn't just do it on his own. He's been jumping up and down for 13, 14 years. He's been shunned by the police department.
Oh.
Now, Rodney Harrison opened his arms and embraced him. As a matter of fact, Rodney Harrison, Melanie, said, as soon as I became Suffolk County Police Commissioner, I went personally to John Ray's office and sat down with him. And they've been working ever since.
Yep. Behind the scenes. You know, it's the first time really John Ray's been publicly validated with all of the work that he's been doing on this case for free, by the way, since 2010. He's put his heart and soul into this. He has had people come and give him information and speak to him because, like you said, they're scared to go to the police based on whatever their occupation is or for many different reasons. And they go to John Ray and he listens. And for the first time, he's receiving police cooperation. And all of a sudden, this resignation letter comes in a couple days before Election Day. I don't know.
And I look at Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney's office and the response that they put out after that press conference happened the same day, like hours later. I don't think they waited even more than an hour.
Right.
It was within that hour, bam, they put out this press release. We do not try cases with press conference, public press conferences. We had no knowledge of this press conference. We had to get wind of it by watching it with all of you. Like it just the whole tone of that conversation, and people just tried to blow that off. I saw interviews where people were like, "Oh, that was nothing. Everything is fine." No. Everything wasn't fine, because if it was, then the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office would have said, I stand by what my police commissioner did. I stand with the lead top dog. Don't forget, Suffolk County and all of, New York City and the metro area, when you have a police commissioner come on, that's a civilian appointment. He's no longer a uniformed personnel. He's a civilian appointed official by the highest office in the county, which is the executive. It's equivalent of the New York City mayor. He's like the mayor, mayor of New York City, Nassau, Suffolk. They have their own executives. They have the authority, and they're the only ones that can appoint a police commissioner. And that is also part of this whole situation, right? Because we speculated, and I said it. I stand with it. If we know the term limits, he did 12 years, Steve Ballone, and I feel he's a dirty scumbag, Steve Ballone, because he allowed James Burke to work his way up the ladder after he knew, as a sergeant, a uniformed sergeant, James Burke was having sex in his patrol car with a prostitute. Last time I checked, police officers are not allowed to associate with criminals. Well, he was.
No. And that was back in 96, 97. So that's how far back this whole thing goes, right? So that's why this is just so strange. And especially since Tierney and Harrison were like arm in arm when this whole Huermann arrest was happening, when the whole task force was announced, they've been arm in arm this entire time until this John Ray press conference.
Right.
And to me, that was the catalyst.
You remember this speech? We checked our egos at the door
Yep.
with the whole
That's right.
task force. Well, it didn't seem like that kumbaya, that atmosphere existed after the John Ray press conference.
No, that public statement that Tierney made was a public lashing.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it. We'll put it up in a little bit. I'm just waiting for News 12 to see if they come up with anything additional. Let's say hello to everybody that's in the chat. Jennifer Nobles from Bakersfield. That's our great friend from Bakersfield, California. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you for being a platinum member for almost 36 months. Unbelievable. Thank you, Jen, for your support. Miss Donna Marie's here, one of our great friends, hanging out. Just people all chiming in, and everybody's upset, and we get it. But just listen, the writing was on the wall here. I do not feel that Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison, come January 1, would have had a job. And I think he beat them to the punch of actually relieving him of his job. He probably wanted to, and this is just my opinion, he may have wanted to go out with his head up, held up high and not being relieved of his position. A resignation is in our eyes and in law enforcement is better than someone you get essentially you get fired. You're relieved of your position when they come in and put somebody else in. He also has his appointments. He's got his executive staff that he appointed as well, one of them being a New York City retired police lieutenant, female. So he definitely has some of his people who are also going to be relieved of their duties, non-uniformed. These are appointments that are made from within. Some of the super chats that are coming in, thank you for those, and thank you for the support.
Go Buffs.
I haven't been to this channel in months, but I hope you all having a great night. Go Buffs. Yeah. Thank you, Iron Range Rube. Appreciate you. Again, this is not good news, because you will not see another guy like Rodney Harrison come in here. I don't care who they appoint. He is second to none. You're not going to see it. And it's a shame, because who suffers here?
Well, we do. I mean, finally, we saw some integrity in Suffolk County for the first time, in a very, very long time. And what I have to ask you is, do you think, regardless of the party affiliation of the next county exec that's going to be elected come next week, do you think, no matter what, he would have been replaced? Because, I mean, how do you replace a guy who comes in and solves the Gilgo Beach case? Like, it's just, I thought there would be such public outcry if they tried to do that. That's why his resignation is so shocking.
Melanie, I feel like, it would be political. It would be politically a bad look for the new county executive to come in, but these guys get elected to a term and they just say, you know what, I got to put my own people in. We see it in New York City, when we have the new mayor come in, we brace for a new police commissioner. And I went through it several times. I got hired during the Koch era, and then Mayor Dinkins, then Mayor Giuliani, then Bloomberg came in, and we saw each one of them come in, and boom, whoever was in there, no matter how good or whatever he is, they would keep him maybe for a month or two, and then bam, a new police commissioner would come in. But Suffolk County and the residents, and most importantly, the victims' families, suffer from this blow. This is not good. This is not a good look. I see Nassau County Police Commissioner. Oh no. Okay, I thought he was making a statement, but I saw I saw Commissioner Ryder from Nassau County, who's a part of the task force. This is going to affect the task force. Now, Rodney Harrison was interviewed by a retired Sergeant, Joe Giacalone, maybe about 2 weeks ago. And in that interview, Joe asked him right at the end, hey, there's a new county executive coming in. What's your situation? What are we going to see here? And he didn't exactly say it like that, but the police commissioner, Rodney, said, I know what you're getting at here. I know that you're asking me what's going to happen. And he said, Melanie, you and I listened to it.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to rely on what my family decides. I think at that time, he already knew what he was going to do.
I think so. In retrospect, when we watched it back, it was kind of like writing on the wall.
Yeah, I'm going to play it here for the folks because I think everybody should see. I know that a lot of you have gone over there and watched it. I'll link his channel in the description. But this is an interview. I'm going to look at the date real quick. Hold on, let me stop it. So this was from 9 days ago. So
Wow.
yeah, and Joe outright asked him, you know, what is your plan? So let's take a listen to this.
You know, I know there's going to be there's a possibility of change, and there's a possibility of things and derailing some of the momentum that you have put forward in this. Can you kind of like, you know, calm our fears in that respect, kind of thing?
Yeah. So regarding my future, I'm assuming that's where the question was going.
Yes.
Listen, I'm still. This is going to sound kind of awkward, but I'm still in discussions with my family regarding what's my next move going to be. You know, my wife's a retired lieutenant from the NYPD. I have 2 daughters that are NYPD police officers. One's working in the 113 squad. The other one's working in the detective bureau. And I still have my youngest one who's playing college basketball down south, which is one of my biggest passions, is watching her perform on the highest level in women's basketball. So, you know, this is something that I got to figure out with my family, and we'll continue discussions regarding me staying or possibly leaving. But I will say this: as long as we have a man like Ray Turney, as long as we have a man like Earl Toulon, and if
I'm going to stop it just here for a second, Melanie, because I want to get your thoughts on this. Here's a man who already knows that, and this is 9 days ago, he already knows that Ray Tierney's not happy with him. And he still, in this interview with Joe, gave him accolade. He gave him kudos. I mean, just
He's
shows
a class act. He's a class act.
the class.
But what was the date of the John Ray press conference? And what was the date of this interview? That I'm interested to see. I'll go look that up if you want me to.
Yeah, if you want. I believe that he already conducted that press conference with John Ray.
Okay.
I'm almost certain, because I believe that this was afterwards. And even if it wasn't afterwards, they were planning it anyways. But I'm almost certain. And, you know, listen, I've been wrong sometimes, but I think that this was after the press conference, because Joe in this interview, I believe, asked him about that press conference.
It was October 18th was John Ray's press conference.
Yeah. And this was not just 9 days ago.
Okay.
there happens to be somebody that comes into the position after me, I'm sure the same efforts will be put in place, knowing that the leadership is focused on the Gilgo Beach investigation and continue to identify individuals or individual that's maybe involved with the other bodies that were discovered over on Ocean Parkway.
Well, it's definitely understandable, and yes, that decision ultimately comes down to you. And we hope that if given the opportunity, you stay, because I think that this has gotten this far because of you. And it's not because of a political decision, because I could tell you, whoever makes that decision, it's going to be a bad one.
Yeah, see, so he just said, if whoever makes that decision to remove you is going to be, it's going to be a politically bad decision. I'm just going to, I want to move this back because I want to just get confirmation, because my brain is fried. But I'm almost certain that he questions him about the interview with John Ray on here. I think I listened to this maybe a day or two afterwards. Yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, this was after the press conference. Again, I know right there, just by his answer and his demeanor, I know that he already had his mindset that he knew that there was a very high probability that he would be removed. And like I said, some county executives will hold on. And in this case, I think he would have been held on for maybe a month or 2 or 3 until there's that transition, and then boom.
Or something happened after that press conference. Because if this Jackalone interview was after the press conference, something exploded maybe, and the writing was on the wall. Hey, either you resign or you're out of here, like now. So a lot of times high-level executives are given the opportunity to resign rather than be publicly fired. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's curious though.
Very, very curious. I'm trying to get the oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to put this on screen. I'm going to try to get it to full screen, fit to full screen. Okay. Here we go. And this still is not going to be can you see that, Melanie?
I can if I enlarge it.
Are you able to do that?
I can, yeah.
All right, because on my end, it's like the print is just so small, even on my screen. So this is the Suffolk County for immediate release, October 18th. Would you be able to just?
Sure.
Thank you.
The the letterhead is on the Office of the District Attorney of the County of Suffolk. This says for immediate release, October 18th, 2023. This is the same day Rodney Harrison showed up for that press conference with John Ray. And the header is Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond A. Tierney's statement regarding Gilgo Beach investigation and prosecution. Without providing any advance notice to the prosecutors pursuing this case in court or the Gilgo Beach Homicide Task Force members investigating these murders day in and day out, we watched today's press conference not knowing what was going to be reported. We will continue to investigate this case through the grand jury process and not through press conferences. No private attorneys are or have ever been members or agents of the task force. Any citizen who believes that they have relevant evidence regarding the Gilgo Beach investigation should report it to the investigative agencies that comprise the task force. Those agencies are the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, the Suffolk County Police Department's Homicide Bureau, Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, New York State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Any attorneys representing victims or their families, by definition, have a conflict of interest and should not be a part of the investigation. Accordingly, private attorneys are not part of the task force, and potential witnesses should not be reaching out to a private attorney with an interest in the outcome of the case.
Unbelievable. And you read that and you can tell that that is a seething message. That is a message that that is not people who are locked arms and arm to arm.
Yeah.
That is not people who check their egos at the door. I went a step further, and I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to mention names, but I know someone who works within the district attorney's office, a different capacity, not in law enforcement capacity. And I asked him or her a very straightforward question. And that question was the district attorney upset with what Commissioner Harrison did? And the answer was hands down, yes.
Well, yeah, as they say, them's fighting words.
Yeah.
That was not a nice statement. That was just about as smacking on the hand as it could be.
Yeah. And it's so counterproductive. And I said this when I read this out the last time, and last time I actually printed this and had it out here because the print is so small. And again, I tried to make it big, and thank you for reading it.
Sure.
But when I read it out for the first time live, I said to myself, this now takes all of those steps, that 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's the same effect that this has with anybody who was even thinking of coming forward to talk.
Yeah.
Because do you think now Rodney Harrison steps down and leaves, he resigns, right? Do you think anyone's going to come and say to John Ray, hey, come on over here and hang out with us at the district attorney's office? He's going to be back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
His communication with the police department is going to be torn apart because the new police commissioner is not going to want to have this same situation going on. And Ray Tierney is an elected official. The district attorney, Melanie, can you explain it to the people?
That's right. The district attorney in New York, in Suffolk County, is elected. That is not an appointed position. That is not a position that is earned other than by election. So
he is there, and he knows it. He just got elected. Yep. He just took office when Harrison got his appointment.
Same time. Yep. Same time. Beginning of January 22.
And there was that little bit of baby fighting about who created the task force. Remember that one, Melanie?
Yeah. And remember when, Ray Tierney's been the face of this investigation since this whole Huermann arrest. He's been the face of all the press conferences. Rodney Harrison was kind of standing behind him when you said Harrison should be the one leading these press conferences. This is not a district attorney's job.
the police department and the task force, all of the investigators, and that includes district attorney investigators as well. I'm not taking anything
Right.
away from them. But the police commissioner and his task force, they are tasked with gathering up all of the evidence and then packaging it up and sending it over to the DA for charges. They sign off on the charges. The attorneys sign off on the charges.
Mhm.
Us detectives have to go out, interview, interrogate, knock on doors, shake the tree up, get out there and do the work, and then bring it to the district attorney for the district attorney to review and say, we have enough to go forward with charges, or no.
Or
we
go
don't.
get me more.
Go get me
Right.
more. So that's the roles here. And District Attorney Tierney doesn't really seem to understand that he's not investigating this case. He's not.
He's perhaps got a bone to pick with John Ray.
A major one, because John Ray has information that will really rock Suffolk County, and he is getting closer and closer, and they're trying to step on him. He's like a bug, and they want to just step on it. That's the sheer raw reality of this. People don't like to talk about it, especially people who are retired. I'm not afraid. Like I have said many different times that Chief James Burke is a real piece of work. He's a scumbag. He's a criminal. He's a piece of shit. I don't care if he lives on Long Island. He can come for me. I'm not afraid of him. He's a piece of shit. But the bottom line is people have to understand that this culture has existed in Suffolk County for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And because of people like, and I don't even want to say Tierney, but because of people like Balone, Spoda, and many other unnamed, unfaced people that haven't been outed. And that's what they're worried about, is John Ray is going to out them. And I worry about his safety as well.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
All the time. Let me take a peek quickly. Hold on. Let me just grab this off of here. I just want to go to Newsday just for a second, because they were the ones that broke this. And I want to say thank you to Jolene Marie out in, she's going to kill me, Kansas City. I think she's in Kansas. Jolene, I love you. And if I got it wrong, I'm sorry, but she's somewhere around there. She was the first to send me the message, and then the floodgates opened up. Everybody was going crazy. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree. As a matter of fact, I was in your live stream, super chatting and chatting it up with all the live chatters, and I had to just leave. I had to leave because I had to investigate this. Wow, look at this. So the first thing that came up was an article of James Burke, but this was an old one. Let me just peek really quick at Mary Murphy, because she's always on this stuff.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
I want to.
She's on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm checking her Facebook first. Hunt for Gilgo. No.
How is a new police commissioner going to come into Suffolk County and just get up to speed on the Gilgo investigation? I mean, there's going to be some sort of a lag in the investigation, don't you think?
Well, I don't think Rodney Harrison is going to just run out the door tomorrow. He's going to Balone's office tomorrow to give him his intention of officially face-to-face of his resignation. There's going to be a transition period. Listen, Harrison is a gentleman. He's not going to just close the door and run out and say, hey, you guys got this. He's going to give whoever the next police commissioner is that's coming in, he's going to have a period of time to spend with him, to debrief him, and to tell him everything that's going on. It's going to include all of the work that he did with John Ray over all of this time. They can either take it or leave it, and they'll have the option to say, okay, I know that this is in existence. This is some of our leads. It's going to be up to that man or woman. We don't know if it's going to be a man or a woman, but that whoever takes that position over is going to be afforded all of the. Rodney Harrison is not. He's a a professional. He's an executive. He is a gentleman. He's not going to just say, "I'm out later."
He's a
So
class act.
he's everybody in that new team with the police commissioner's office is going to be fully briefed on Gilgo Beach, Long Island serial killer case, and have everything. They'll have access to everything. See, because the difference is Rodney Harrison is in a skell. He's not a piece of shit. He's a good man, and he wants justice. But A, he either knows that he's not wanted there anymore, or B, it's time for him to be with his family, and his family, we don't know the dynamic of his family, but you heard what he said there. I'm going to leave it up to my family. And maybe his wife, his wife's a retired lieutenant from the NYPD. Maybe she said, "Hun, I need you here for us and our girls and our family." And if that's the case, then I say that's fine. And whatever his decision is, I stand behind him. I support this guy. But I know that he's not going to be just a shithead and walk out the door and say, "Hey, you guys do what you want with this." He's going to do the best that he can to debrief the incoming new police commissioner, and he or she will have all of the data that's needed. Melanie, I'm going to put you full screen and let you chat it up with the people, because I got to look for something real quick.
Well, I hope that he can do that, because, that's a far cry from the way it is in the corporate world. In the corporate world, you walk in and say, "Okay, I quit. I'm resigning. I'll give you 2 weeks." And they say, "No, that's it. We'll show you the door. Give me your keys, and we'll have somebody deliver all your stuff from your office." So hopefully they're going to let him stay, and there wasn't some other precipitating event where they make him leave right away. Marianne Knapp says, "Yes, but there's something else going on here." Yeah, this seems really interesting. Trish Norman says, "That's a shame. I can't highlight any of these comments, so I'm just going to read them." Yeah, BS. Maybe it got dangerous for him. Ron, that did kind of cross my mind. Like, as you were saying, like maybe his wife said, "All right, time to come, be with the family." Maybe there were threats. I don't know. There's been so much craziness surrounding this Gilgo case since the 96. Where people have gone missing. There have been people who are in jail for crimes and murders that they claim or swear they did not commit. There have been a lot of unalivings, let's say, a lot of suicides, so much in the wake of these cases and these bodies that we have not even, in my opinion, scratched the surface on what is really going on here. Pee-wee Moore says, "I'm so sick over this. This is a huge, huge, huge loss for Suffolk County," all in caps. Yes, I agree with you. Rodney was the best thing to happen to Suffolk County. The political powerhouse got butthurt over Rodney's big moves. Yeah. And, and I've said this before about Suffolk County, because as a young lawyer, I practiced in Suffolk County and Nassau County and the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn. And of all of the counties in this area, Suffolk County was, and still always has been, the good old boys club. And if he was not welcomed into the good old boys club, that's another possibility here.
Yeah.
Just a
Thank you
thought.
for eating up that time, Melanie. And I got to get the administrative rights back to you. I got to just send you an email and accept, because I got that, that situation.
Yeah.
It's funny. It took me all this time to find it, because this is buried in Newsday, Long Island. And guess where it's buried, this story? Under
Page 6.
Under politics.
Interesting.
Look, political news.
An opinion.
Couldn't find it under crime in Long Island. This has to do with everything when you look at it to crime. He's the police commissioner.
And it just broke at 9:27 p.m.
Yeah, broke at 9:27. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison says he's leaving the department he led for 2 years. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney K. Harrison is resigning after a 2-year stint as Suffolk County's top cop, a tenure that included the arrest of the suspect in the Long Island unsolved Gilgo Beach killings and implementation of the department-wide body camera program. And that was huge that he pushed for that, because the unions, not just in Suffolk, but also in Nassau, fought against the body cameras, and he pushed for it. Harrison, in a department email message Thursday night, said he would tender his resignation to Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone. And every time I mention this guy's name, my stomach turns, because he's going to leave with a humongous pension, and he's leaving scot-free with nobody challenging him with his involvement in elevating slimy Chief James Burke, former Suffolk County Police Chief James Burke. Harrison's announcement of his departure comes as a consequential election for a new county executive scheduled for next Tuesday. Balone is term limited. It's 12 years he did there, 12 years of terror. And whoever wins the election will be tasked with selecting a new police commissioner. Reached by telephone late Thursday night, Harrison said he tendered his resignation before the election to give the new county executive the freedom to select their own commissioner. So he was reached by phone, and this was updated 10:33. I originally read this report at 8:55. So this is new updated information. You can see right here, it says updated November 2nd, 10:33. So, and I know it's hard for everybody to see the wish there was a way. What is it? Hold on a second. I know I'm going to screw this up. Anyways, let me just finish reading this. So he was reached by phone late tonight, and he said he tendered his resignation before the election to give the new county executive the freedom to select their own commissioner. So he knew, like what I was saying, Mel, that he didn't stand a chance. He was dead in the water with this new election. And that's the shitty part about this, is that if you look at this as a citizen of this county, or even a citizen of the United States, or the world for that matter, this is a worldwide case. People will look, even outside the country, look and say, why the would you take this guy? I said the F word. Why the F would you take this guy out when he's doing so good?
Yeah.
Because he's also effectively going to peel that onion back and expose all of that dirtiness. And they didn't want him to do that.
You see Dennis's comment in the comments there? I still think Tierney and Burke have a connection. Maybe Harrison was going to go after Burke. That's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Retired Irish detective. That's my fellow co-worker. I worked with him in the trenches on patrol in the fighting 90s, in the crack epidemic, during the crack war. So thank you, Dennis, for that comment. Yeah, you're right on. So he says he said he has no immediate plans for the future other than spending time with his wife and his family. But he said he would be open to work in policing again. He'd make a damn good police commissioner anywhere he goes. This is not my last stop regarding law enforcement, says Harrison. This is all by phone tonight. Harrison said his last official day with the department. Ooh.
It's Friday. See, he's leaving right away. Clean out your desk.
His last official day is tomorrow.
And he's gonna name an acting police commissioner, it says.
And he has not yet named. Yeah, it's because he is in charge until January 1, no matter what. So he's going to take his first deputy commissioner, who is a retired NYPD guy, a good guy. And I have his name. Hold on a second. Let me just finish reading this. The top cop said that while the Giggle Beach investigation presents huge challenges, it was also one of the most personally rewarding moments in his law enforcement career when investigators were able to make the arrest of Rex Huermann. It was challenging, but I will say this, just being able to bring the law enforcement people together to get to that point, to identifying our subject, was a major accomplishment for me in law enforcement. Being able to bring comfort to the families. And this is a guy who's a class act. Remember, he hugged the victims' families, the daughters, the sisters, the brothers. He was the only one. Ray Tierney, all he did was want the mic and sweat in front of the mic, in front of the camera. That's all he wanted to do, is talk. He didn't go and hug any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But Rodney Harrison did. It was challenging to bring comfort for the family. Sometimes my predecessors got a bad rap for not getting the job done. I thought that was very unfamiliar because a lot of good work was done before I got here. And he's referring to Geraldine Hart, because she did a phenomenal job at reigniting this case. Remember the press conference with the belt buckle? That was former FBI special agent in charge, Geraldine Hart. She ran the whole Suffolk County FBI office in Melville. So he said sometimes my predecessors get a bad rap for not getting the job done. I thought that was very unfamiliar because a lot of good work was done before I got here. We were just able to take it over and take it to the finish line, Harrison told Newsday. This was all on a phone call tonight. In this email to the department, Rodney Harrison said, serving as Suffolk County Police Commissioner for the last 2 years was not only a privilege, but one of the greatest highlights of my law enforcement career. And that is because of you, Harrison wrote in a message. I thank County Executive Malone for the opportunity, as it's been an honor serving the people of Suffolk County. Malone, in a statement Thursday night, praised Harrison, saying his legacy would be one of professionalism, integrity, and progress. Commissioner Harrison achievements are immeasurable, including the continued implementation of our historic police reform plan, significant investments in officer safety and tackling quality of life issues. And that comes from New York City, NYPD. We were huge on quality of life during some of the leaner years, not so much right now. But when I was in the police department in the 90s, we took the streets back. And it was because of the quality of life issues that we tackled. So he implemented some of the great strategic plans that we had tremendous success in driving down homicides and all of the 7 major crime categories. And it was all from aggressive policing. And quality of life was the start of it. Malone said, but most significantly in his tenure is the arrest of the alleged serial killer in connection with the Gilgo Beach homicide investigation. Harrison, 54, the first Black police commissioner in Suffolk County, was selected by Malone, a Democrat, after a nationwide search. Previously, Harrison was the chief of the NYPD. I'm humbled being the first African-American police commissioner, says Harrison, but I also feel I'm deserving of it, Harrison told Newsday last year. All right. Powerful stuff, Melanie. And I think the county is suffering a huge loss here.
Huge.
Across the board. Let me look at some of these starred messages, and I want to go to the chat too. So Mandy Moo, thank you for the super chat. I hate this. He was getting too close to the truth. Amen to that, sister.
Yeah.
Kimberly Culp says, you two are so great. I love you, Ron. I love you too, Kimberly. Melanie loves you too. Thank you. Iron Rage Rube, we already put he or she's comment up. Thank you for that. Go Buffalo. Go Buffalo.
Coach Prime.
BS sends in a super sticker. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Miss Mac, thank you for becoming a member. Let's look at the live chat. Yes, thank you.
Phoenix Rising has an interesting comment here. I don't know if you can find it, but I could read it. So he's not looking to retire or leave law enforcement. It's for sure related to this investigation and lifting the rocks to see what scum was hiding. And you know who agrees with that? Popeye. Because I heard Popeye in the back going, BS. I call BS.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a great comment. Thank you for picking that out. Here's one from Green Dragon. Geraldine Hart confirmed that Spoda and Burke blocked the FBI from helping in the case. Yes, she was the start. And if you guys recall, Geraldine Hart only lasted a short period of time there. She was there during Thomas Valva era. She vowed to do a top to bottom review, which she never did, of that case. And then she was taken out and replaced. But she did do a lot in this Gilgo Beach in the investigation. She pushed hard because she was able to, through her connections and her executive contacts, get the FBI back and get them back, because the FBI, because of what good old Jimmy Burke did. I don't even like to call him Jimmy. That's scumbag. What James Burke did, criminal perp Burke did, is effectively block the FBI from coming in and investigating a case. They were denied access to the case folder. Yes, Popeye. They were denied access to the case file under the direction of James Burke. And again, whoever comes in here is going to be heavily scrutinized. And you know what? Rodney Harrison is going to put his next in command in charge to the end of the year. And I feel comfortable that he's going to take the same direction that Rodney, but we're only talking about November and December.
Right. We're already into November. I can't believe it, but we are.
60 days. And then he's Gandhi.
Nothing happens between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'd like to tomorrow. I'm going to actually reach out and maybe we could do it together. Maybe we can do a conference call over John Ray's office because I really would like to see what his thoughts and you know, we could speculate all we want, but the bottom line is Harrison was doing his job. He was trying to get to the bottom of this case. And in getting to the bottom of this case, you have to expose and reveal the dirty people that were involved in covering up and trying to suppress this case. So many retired cops don't like to talk about that, but any good cop, any good retired or active cop hates a dirty cop. And I hate them.
Yeah.
They make the job so difficult for the people like myself who laid my life on the line day in and day out for the citizens of New York City. And here it's Suffolk County. And you know what? If a crime was committed while I was off duty, no matter where I was, I jumped into action. I didn't shy away from it because I took that oath. I raised my right hand. That was my left, but I raised my right hand and I took that oath to uphold law, law and order. Galen says, always great seeing the two of you team up. Oh, Melanie is my bestie, as she says.
You're my bestie.
I love Melanie.
He's like, you want to come on? I know you just got off. And I'm like, I'm still sitting in front of my computer. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. So if you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing to this community here, Crime Time with DutyRon, and also Attorney Melanie Little. She's one of my recommended channels in my recommendeds. So go over and subscribe. She's on her way up the ladder. And guess what? She gives great content and she's not afraid to talk about controversial and difficult topics and conversations. And the little bit that I saw tonight with the doctor that you had on, Dr. K, he was trying his best to do the abbreviations and slipped a few times. And then at one point, I think you said, what the hell? Just forget about it. Just say it.
We're fasted. We can use the dirty words they don't want us to say on YouTube.
I think about I think about George Carlin, the 7 words you can never say on television.
That's what I say.
So that's what came into my mind when he was like, oh, I know we can't say that. And he did it right in the beginning because I was there pretty much early on. I want to play John Ray from, because he made him.
You know what it would be interesting is to play a little bit of that press conference, because we noticed how uncomfortable Rodney Harrison looked during that press conference. Like he just wanted to jump in the bushes. And I wonder if, maybe he thought John Ray was going to say one thing and then John Ray started saying something in a different way. And he looked so uncomfortable. And I think that was the beginning of the end here, but I could be wrong.
You know what? This is what my thought was. And this is putting aside his resignation tonight. I felt that he got backlash from because I don't think he did that on a sneak tip. I think that the DA knew about it. I think he's such a transparent guy that I think he told the task force. This wasn't a sneak, as that press release tried to show, that we're just hearing about this, watching with you all. I think that was bullshit. I think that he did tell them, and they said, "Don't do it." And he said, "I'm my own man. I walk to my own drumbeat." And he even said in Joe Jagalone's YouTube interview that he did with him, he said, "If I step on people's feet along the way and they don't like what I do, get out of my way." And I wish I had that timestamp because I would love to play that. But trust me, folks, that's exactly what Rodney Harrison said to Joe when he interviewed him. He said, "If I step on some people's feet and make people feel uncomfortable, too bad. Get out of the way. Because I'm like a freight train. I'm just going."
Yeah.
And I had a lot of respect for that, because he was just like, too bad. I got to get to the bottom of this. Let me see where the press conference is. Mary Murphy press conference.
Or, one of the press conferences, like the press conference in the beginning when they announced like the Huermann arrest, that was an interesting one too, because he was there, but I don't even know if Tierney let him speak at that one, did he? I don't recall now. It feels like so much time has passed, but it really was only like 3 months ago when he was arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, he was arrested in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what was that, July? That he was
August?
something like that. News 12, James Burke. Where the hell can I find it?
Which one are you looking for?
I'm looking for the press conference with
John
John Ray?
Ray?
Yeah.
I think you played it on your show. Let's see.
I know, but I'm just
maybe
here
on.
it is. Okay. Oh, this is a CBS.
Then the family of sex worker Shannon Gilbert discovered dead in 2010 near Gilgo. A livery recognized as Rex
Huermann comes. So he can't be seen, and he runs to an SUV. She continues to flash her lights and beep her horn, and out comes a girl, crying, shaking, very upset, and gets in her car.
Another witness claims she and her boyfriend.
Yeah, that wasn't it, but you could see the look on his face there. He didn't look comfortable. And again, I played it. I guess I didn't save it in my folder here.
I can't, because you know what? There was hardly anybody that broadcast it live, the entire thing. I remember it was hard to find when they were doing it. News 12 didn't have it.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
It was CBS that had it.
Dan Abrams. Huh. I know I saved it. I might have just mixed it up. Let me just search for it. I'll put you full.
Yeah.
Just say hello to everybody, and I'll.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Black Rose. S. Ray says John Ray worked this case back when no one was even interested. Yes, since 2010, when Shannon Gilbert went missing, and he's been working on it for free. For free, he has spent at least $50,000 of his own money, and he has spent, I think he estimated at least 50,000 hours on this case. A tremendous amount of time and effort. And, you know, people were always calling him crazy, kooky. They didn't like his outfits. I personally think I love the way he dresses. I think he's adorable. But Christina says, I'll meet you at the courthouse, Melanie. All right, I'll be there. November 15th. That's Rex Huermann's next appearance. BS said, when I first started researching this case, I got such a dreadful feeling. Yeah, Dennis says, no jagaloons or cupcakes allowed. That's right. Those are our symbols. He got too close to the truth. Could be. Yeah, I have this Lepentora Bella says, oh no, I really hope this doesn't mess everything up with this case. I know, I hope so too. How is somebody new coming in going to be up to speed, right? And I don't think they're going to promote somebody from within as police commissioner. Ron, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but yeah, I mean, you bring somebody in cold. This is a case that's been going on for since 1996. Or at least since 2010 when the bodies were found. Gemma says, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, they're not going to put in somebody from within. They're going to bring in somebody from the outside. And that's
going to set everything back, in my opinion, too. I mean, man.
It's crazy. The whole thing is nuts. I'm just looking through my videos to get it.
DJ Patricia Starr, next thing is something may happen to John Ray. I pray for his safety. I do too. Let's all put prayers up for John Ray. He's doing the right thing. I mean, he's a good guy. He's been working on this from the kindness of his heart. He's a victim's advocate. And he's been publicly shamed for it, which I think is a real misfortune. Right. Marianne says Burke stayed and got a pension, and an upright man gets treated like this. Yeah, and they allowed Burke to resign, by the way, so that he could get that pension before the criminal charges were brought, before he was pled guilty, actually, and went to prison. And he got out of prison, where Tom Spota is still sitting in federal prison, by the way. And Tom Spota's right-hand man is also sitting in federal prison, Club Fed, as they call it. Somebody said, I just came in. What happened? Rodney Harrison, Suffolk County Police Commissioner, tendered his resignation today and said that he is stepping down. He said that his last day on the job will be tomorrow, and that he will appoint an interim police commissioner to serve throughout the end of the year. So this is very interesting. Julie M says, is it possible that police chief is involved with some of the stuff that went down while Burke was in, as in spending time with SWs? I don't know. Police chief, you mean, who's the police chief right now? I'm not sure, but Rodney Harrison is the police commissioner. Just so that we're straight on our terms, because I mislabeled him last time I was calling Burke the police chief, but police commissioner, but he was the police chief. Yeah, Wild Lights Art says, I'm really curious to hear John Ray's take on this for sure, and who he's going to have in his panel. Mary Fagan says, it's so obvious that powers that be don't want the truth out. Yeah, DJ Patricia Star is leaving tomorrow. I think he's getting blackmailed out or blackballed out. I'm not sure. But it seems very unusual, because even Ron said before we saw that statement that he thought he would serve out the rest of his term, or at least, help onboard the new police commissioner. But it doesn't look that way. It looks like he is getting out of Dodge pretty damn quick, like tomorrow. Mel C 9791 comment of the day: could he appoint John Ray as the interim commissioner? That gets a trophy. Gets a trophy, Mel. Mel's unite. Peter Pranzo, Suffolk County PD might be ready to fall apart, and Rodney Harrison said bye.
Yeah. Well, I for some reason I can't find it, and it's better that I didn't, because this might make this drag on longer. He was uncomfortable. I have a feeling that he was told not to do it, and he still said to do it. If you want to go and look for that press conference with John Ray and play it, it's like 38 minutes long. A lot of the parts Rodney Harrison seemed uncomfortable, and people questioned me, why are you saying that? He seemed very comfortable. I could just tell if he could jump in the bushes, he would have jumped in the bushes, or if somebody pulled the car up, he would have got into it. As a matter of fact, he even at the end tried to wrap the press conference up himself. He was saying goodbye to everybody, and then John Ray continued on. Did you catch that?
I did. Yeah.
He was like, okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, everyone. And then he took another question or two.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was going to look it up, and I again, finding it is going to make me want to play the whole thing. I even went into my playlist, and somehow it's just not coming up.
Maybe it was taken down.
God, who knows? But this is breaking news, and I wanted to bring it to you tonight, because I knew if I went to work tomorrow, there was no way that I was going to be able to do it. There'll be people talking about it tomorrow, because the Suffolk County Police Commissioner is going straight to the county executive's office and handing his resignation into him, and it's going to be effective as of tomorrow. This is according to Newsday. We read it here. I'm shocked, because I thought that he would have definitely stayed on until the end, but this means that there's something more to this, something more to it. And that press conference that he conducted with John Ray definitely has a lot to do with this. I don't care what anybody says.
I think you're right.
Hashtag Melanie, hashtag DutyRon. Let us know what you think in the chat. I almost want to open this up to have people call in, but we might be here till past midnight. So I don't want to do that. I want to look at the chat. Hashtag Melanie, hashtag DutyRon. Let us know what your thoughts are. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison resigning, effective tomorrow, Friday. We're only an hour away from November 3rd. In an hour, it's going to be November 3rd. He is going to be done. Somebody said in the chat, somebody paid him a visit. I think that there was probably a heated discussion over this, and this didn't go away. And that Tierney, I believe, has a lot to do with this. I don't like him. I never did. He just gave me a bad vibe when he hogged up that whole press conference and didn't want to give the investigators their due credit. He wanted to tout his district attorney's office, and they have a job to do, and it hasn't even started yet. So, right?
That was a scathing press release that we just read that he sent out.
Oh yeah.
If you have information and you are a witness, do not go to a lawyer who represents the victims. You come here.
He said
that was scathing.
Interest. At one of the things I read, that he said John Ray acting as gathering information is a conflict of interest. How?
I think reading between the lines is, he's going to find people to say what he wants them to say to bolster his, his civil case.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know in the chat. I'm just curious, and I wanted to put a poll out there, but I'm going to spare you guys polls because sometimes they get a little redundant and so forth. But I want everyone in the chat, if you feel that Rodney Harrison was pushed out by the powers that be, political powers, that could mean the district attorney, it could be the county executive, put a 1, and put a 2 if you feel that it was just personal and his family wanted him to go out. I want to see how many 1s we get and how many 2s we get. And I'm going to vote right now. I'm going to put my vote in. Boom, number 1. So I voted. Melanie, are you voting?
I'm voting right now.
Melanie, I love it. She loves to participate.
I do. I'm a participator.
I haven't seen a number 2 yet. Not one number 2.
Nope.
So here's someone, DJ Patricia Starr says, Melanie, DutyRon, please get John Ray on the show. We will get the inside scoop. Trust me, he's going to be talking tomorrow.
Unless he's been gagged.
Did anybody see a number 1 in the chat? I have not seen a number 1
No,
yet.
number 2. It's all number 1s.
I mean, number 2. I mean a number 2.
Somebody says there is one number 2. I saw it.
Yeah, I
LOL.
didn't see it. I might have looked away for a second. This is really troubling. And again, the people who suffer, as we keep saying, citizens of the county, Suffolk, the victims, their families, and all of these. Look at these freaking task force investigators, men and women. We had a female investigator from the state police identify that car. Granted, we know that car should have been identified way back when, but we had Slimy Burke there. So maybe it could have been identified, but he suppressed it.
She cracked the case, in my opinion. She cracked the case quickly.
State trooper. I would love to shake her hand and give her a big old hug and say, sister, great job.
Yeah.
So, and Rodney Harrison acknowledged that female members of the service, female detectives, female police officers do not get the recognition they deserve. And I know that that's true. But he had the balls to say that as the police commissioner. And he said, I wanted to give her that recognition. Do you think Tierney wanted to?
Maybe that was the first thing he said wrong,
Yeah. He's a jagaloon.
In their opinion.
Hold on. I got to play this. So it might be loud.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
I love that button.
There comes up your yellow money sign or your dollar sign, the red dollar sign.
I don't care. So we're going to follow this. I mean, more is going to come out. I know that Commissioner Harrison will probably give interviews. He may do the circuit because as of tomorrow, he's done. He's separated his service. So there's, there may be a chance that he has vacation time that'll lead him to the end, accrued time off. So he'll probably be very careful about what he says until he is completely separated from Suffolk County. And rightfully so. He deserves every bit of his pension that he gets from them or whatever he's going to get, because he is the first who's been a tremendous go-getter. I mean, again, Geraldine Hart, the former police commissioner, retired FBI special agent, she did a fantastic job. And then he took the torch from her and continued on with it. So it's just insanity. And Tierney trying this case in the courtroom, I'm worried about that because I don't know how good at skills he's got. I know he doesn't know how to talk at a press conference. That I know. It's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's a good attorney. I hope.
And you've seen Michael Brown, right? At the press conferences. He's
a go-getter.
He is. He's a tough adversary for sure.
Attorney for Rex Huermann. He's no joke. I got his name right here. The 8 terabytes, 8 trillion bytes. And when they asked him, do you have it? He goes, I got him. I got it right in my briefcase. I got the hard.
Like, I don't even know what 8 terabytes is, but I got it right here. They just gave it to me right now. He's great.
That guy cracked me up with that, but I love him because he's a go-getter. ATS News is here. A bunch of other people. I want to say thank you for all of you hanging out here on an unscheduled live stream. gosh, 1,300 people, Melanie, it means a lot of people are interested in this. We're going to be following it closely. Again, I live in Nassau County. Melanie lives in Suffolk County. These crimes occurred in both of these counties. And Rex Huermann, Massapequa Park is in Nassau County. And Peaches, part of her remains were recovered just 5 miles from my home at Hempstead Lake State Park. I have done live streams. I've conducted live streams down along that that park, Hempstead Lake State Park, because it's a big, huge reservoir, and I walk around it, and I would do walk-in talks back in the day. And it was funny when I used to do those walk-in talks in 2017, 2018. People in the live chat would say, "Hey, did you find any dead bodies? Have you found any remains in there?" And they were alluding to this, to Peaches.
Right. Yeah, it's been haunting us for a long time, and this just doesn't affect Suffolk County. It's the ripple effects affect Nassau County and the entire tri-state area. So this is him leaving is going to be a not a good thing.
Let me just reassure to some of the folks who are in the chat and talking about this. This in no way, shape, or form is going to affect the evidence that they have against Rex Huermann thus far.
Right.
Case that they have is not in jeopardy with Suffolk County Police Commissioner leaving. What's in jeopardy, folks, and we could say this with extreme certainty, is the aggressiveness of how this case gets investigated going forward. Now, we could have a miracle, and there could be a police commissioner that's put in there, either he or she, and they are equally as aggressive as Rodney Harrison. But I highly doubt it, because we haven't seen this in any time, in any recent past or any time. So this would be, it would be amazing. And I hope and pray that there is someone that comes in that is just takes the bull by the horns and keeps going forward with it. But who knows what we're going to see here. This is a roll of the dice. And this is a gut punch to this investigative team. Think about everyone that's in that task force right now. All of those investigators are like, oh shit, Rodney Harrison is gone. Our commander in chief is gone. What message does that send to them? That sends a message to them as if you shake the tree up, it happened to the big dog. Could this happen to one of the little dogs that are in there? So it kind of takes this car that was going 100 miles an hour and screeches it to 25. And that's the part.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm pissed about.
Yeah.
And I'm being real about this, because I have been in, not obviously this kind of magnitude case-wise, but I've been in cases where the fugitive enforcement division where I worked supplemented huge homicide cases. And if you didn't have someone that was telling you, go, 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 and leading the charge, then you'd be like, I'm doing whatever I need to do to get by here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to do the minimums. So that's the problem. That's the real root of the problem of this, is that it takes our vehicle, it was going 100 miles an hour, and screeching it down to a slow roll.
Right. And remember, before this task force was formed, they had one detective on this case.
He added two more, right? He added investigators.
Oh, tons. I mean, the task force. But before the task force, there was only one detective assigned to this Gilgo Beach case since what, 2015?
But just last week, Commissioner Harrison added 2 detectives to run down the Johnny Ray leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he finally made a connection between Karen Vergata and Shannon Gilbert and Huermann.
Those extra guys to be dedicated to running down these leads and going and doing follow-up interviews and so forth. So this whole thing is really not good. It gets real dicey here, because this slows the entire wheels of justice down. It brings them to a grinding halt, as a matter of fact, because now everyone's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. This is also put in this new administration coming in? Does it also put into jeopardy the other members of the task force that are not Suffolk County PD? Like they had state troopers in there and they had FBI in there. So it doesn't jeopardize them?
Because the state troopers march to their own bosses, right? So there's their own commanders. The the Suffolk County Homicide Squad, who is the lead investigation. You hear this. If you don't, I know that you pay attention to the details, but you will hear in all of these press conferences, Suffolk County Homicide Lieutenant Commander, I forgot his name, Kevin Byron. Rodney Harrison mentions Kevin Byron, the Suffolk County commander of the Homicide Squad. He's still going to be there because he's a uniformed member of service. He's, they can't get rid of him. But that could also slow him down because his boss, who was Harrison, is now gone. And that could take Lieutenant Commander Kevin Byron and have him say, whoa. My police commissioner just basically got fired. I know I can't get fired, but it could slow this thing up, man. And that's the horrible, shitty part of this whole thing. And I'm praying, I'm hoping that somebody comes in there. But with this climate, and this is further proving our point, Melanie, Suffolk County is dirty. And Boulogne is dirty. He promoted James Burke. Granted, sergeant to lieutenant is a test. And lieutenant to captain is a test. So he passed those two tests. But he shouldn't even have been afforded the opportunity to take those tests. He should have been fucking fired. I'm sorry, guys. I get crazy with this stuff. He should have been fired because if I, as a police officer or a detective, had sex in uniform in an NYPD marked car, I'd be handcuffed and locked up.
Not promoted.
Not promoted. But the promotion is because they let him take those tests. They didn't fire him. He should have been fired and arrested. The girl took his car. The prostitute took his car and drove it home with his gun in the back.
Loretta Rickenbacker, look it up.
And brought it in the freaking house and got high, smoked crack, and passed that gun around to everybody in the place. Oh, here's my boyfriend's gun belt. Let's have fun with this.
You can't make this shit up, right?
Yeah. And so that he was able to, under Steve Boulogne, who's the county executive right now, he was able to take the lieutenant's test, pass it. Okay, he's book smart. Became a lieutenant. Took the captain's test, passed it. But after captain, it's a buddy system. You get patted on the back. Who's part of that buddy system? The county executive. County executive gave Rodney Harrison his job. He's got the authority to take Burke, and he bumped him from captain to chief. Deputy inspector, chief. He had 3 bumps by Boulogne to get to be a chief. From captain, and boom, 3 bumps by Boulogne. So that's what I'm saying is this guy, okay, he's going to be term limited it out. He's gone. He's done. Hopefully these 2 candidates that I mentioned, the Democratic Republic, Dave and Ed, I don't care who gets in there, but I'm hoping that they're not as dirty as Steve Boulogne was, and he was a Democrat.
So Boulogne's been in office since 2011.
12 years, yeah.
So 2011. So that's when the Shannon Gilbert thing happened. I mean, these bodies were found in 2010. So he's been the county executive since jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but see, okie dokie. So this is a problem. This is see this comment, and I love okie dokie. Not for nothing, but that's why I have such low opinions of law enforcement. This is not running rampant. This kind of stuff, this is wild, and it's right in my backyard. I worked 2 decades in the NYPD. I didn't see anything like this. You know what I saw? If somebody did something that James Burke did, they got fired or arrested.
Yeah.
They didn't get patted on the back. They didn't get walked through. So the NYPD, albeit they had their problems with corruptions over the years, for the most part, 90+% of the men and women, maybe even more, were doing the right thing. We're doing it day in and day out. And corruption is not able to exist job wide. This department in Suffolk County is only 2,000 members. NYPD is 40,000. not once in my career, and I was around hundreds of thousands of dollars in crack houses and in search warrants that I conducted. Not once did I ever see anybody do anything illegal, take any property or drugs or do anything like that. Did I see members of the service get fired and arrested? Yeah. But our internal affairs and Suffolk County, shame on those internal affairs officers. They wrote up those reports, they submitted them, and then just turned their heads. The commanding officer of internal affairs in Suffolk County should have said, "What the f is going on with Burke?
Yeah, I mean,
how is he okay? How is it okay?"
Yeah, and I mean, all that stuff going back to, I think that Lou Rita Rickenbacker stuff was like 96 or 97. That was all public record. I have the minutes of the internal affairs investigation that was done back then. Like, how did this slip through the cracks?
County Executive Balone knew about his internal affairs investigation, because for him to elevate him the way he did after the rank of captain, he had to have looked at his his file. They call it CPI. He had to have looked at his folder and said, this is concerning. Do I want to make this guy a deputy inspector, then a full inspector, then a chief? Deputy inspector, inspector, chief. Three times he signed off and said this would be a good candidate to elevate within Suffolk County Police Department. He remained as Suffolk County executive because it's an elected position. You can't throw him out. And that's why I want to get that politician Boyd, Robert Boyd, or whatever his name is. Remember, he gave that press conference about
by the water.
Correction. I'm Phil is his name. Phil Boyd. I have it here. I texted him and I asked him to come, and he said, "Let me know." Let me just see what his name is. Senator Phil Boyle. Sorry, Phil. He's now the CEO of Jake's 57.
That casino at exit 58, right off the expressway.
Yeah, but he said, sounds good, Ron. I'll get in touch with you next week. And this was last week. So I'm going to send him a message.
So tell him, come on, this breaking news now. You got to come on now. Now's the time.
I'm going to get him because he doesn't have a dog in the fight. He's done with politics.
Right.
But he was the one who exposed James Burke in a press conference. And I love that he did that. This is something that's been going on for a freaking long time in Suffolk County. And my parents, my dad, as a little boy, my weekends were spent in Suffolk County, all the way out in Sound Beach. And I have plenty of friends who are Suffolk County cops. My cousin is a retired ESU. And when I try to talk to him about this, he doesn't talk to me about it. He's like, I don't know.
He's the one who told you never go to Bald Hill. Bad things happen there.
Right. Well, him and my dad, because he was like retired, like guys that would read the paper front to back to front. So he tell me, because I used to stop there to take pictures and stuff. He's like, son, do not stop there. my father,
bad things happen there.
Son, don't stop there. Just go right straight. Come straight here. Dawn, thanks for being a member. Holy crap, 41 months. Thanks for breaking news, DutyRon and Melanie. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate it. Yeah, so this is bad stuff. And James Burke, that's what John Ray and Commissioner Harrison were. All roads lead back to Burke. Trust me on that. All roads lead back to Burke. And this is just some crazy stuff, and we're going to continue to follow this. We could go live 5 hours.
You know what? He was supposed to be in court today, by the way, Burke. I don't know what happened with that, but I got the alert. So it'll be interesting to see what happened with that today. Whether that plays a factor into this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that he got a slap on the wrist.
Or it may have been adjourned. I'm going to look it up real fast. So a lot of number ones. Everybody voted one. I think there was one number two. You said this whole thing is just a horrific situation. And it was going so good, and it's always like when something really good is going that
you get a little bump in the road. But this is bad. This is worse than a bump in the road.
Yeah.
This could really affect the speed of this case going forward. But again, I hope the district attorney brings that fourth piece. So we get Maureen Brainerd Barnes, her family, some closure, and the rest of these unidentified and identified. Let's keep a close eye on this. I don't know what you got going on tomorrow, but I got work. I'm gonna keep this News 12 on my TV. Let's just look and see if they have anything additional. News 12. I'm gonna go live with them. They have a habit of just repeating the news over and over each hour.
And they're never there for the live stuff. It's so weird. It's like you're Long Island's news channel.
Yeah, get it.
Like, why are you not here?
I'm gonna write a strongly worded message to the
gentle reminder.
Station manager.
Dear News 12, love DutyRon.
Yeah.
Please cover the important stuff that's happening on our island. Thank you.
From a friendly retired detective from the city, just a city boy wanting to get some Long Island news. Yeah. So they just put it on like a repeat and just regurgitate old news. All right. Nothing. Thank you, News 12. You suck.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys and girls, I want to just say thank you to first and foremost to Melanie Little for coming on with me tonight. I was going with it myself, but it's always great to have someone here to bounce stuff around with. And Melanie's like a great resource because she, again, has been following this from the beginning. She is a Long Island gal, and she's got a family, and she's raising a family here on Long Island. And we want to see justice. We want to see justice for all of these victims. So we're going to follow this closely. I want to thank all the replay viewers, the moderators, the people who are civil in the chat. And again, this is a really, really difficult case to talk about, and it keeps us all on edge. And everyone, listen, I respect every side of this, every different opinion. As long as you do it respectfully and you express yourself respectfully towards me, my guests, and the conversation, you'll have an open public place to discuss and express your feelings. But once it starts to get nasty, then we got to step in. We got to keep it like that. So here Lisa says, leave New York. Why should I leave New York? You leave New York. No. Yeah,
I want to go to California.
She might just be suggesting leave New York. You never know what you're going to get where you go. Look, there's a lot of crime all over the place. I just keep my 9mm on my hip all the time. So that's my crutch. Melanie, thank you for hanging out. If you guys aren't yet subscribed to her channel, go check it out. Melanie Little, attorney Melanie Little. I'll link it. Melanie, give me till tomorrow, please. I want to link it.
Hey, we share peeps.
All right.
Well, I see a lot of people here that were with me earlier.
Yeah. We cross-pollinate. I love that word. We do the cross-pollination. It's always great
we're intertwined.
Yes. Everybody here is great. All right. On behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon, Melanie Little, we're going to wish you a good night. This has been breaking news coverage of Commissioner Rodney Harrison's resignation. It's only another half hour, and he's going to be Dundee. So, unfortunate.
Sad day for Suffolk County and Long Island.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for that. All right, guys. Good night from New York. We'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.